inauguration is peaceful. Hundreds of soldiers with the National Guard from Pennsylvania and New Jersey are now in Washington. Eyewitness News reporter Howard Monroe is live at City Hall for us this morning to break down how they'll help keep the peace. Howard.
Jen, you'll remember over the summer the National Guard was called here to Philadelphia on a very similar mission to help keep the peace. And just like back then, no one was expecting to get the call.
My wife said, "Do you see this?" I looked at TV, I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on?
What National Guard First Sergeant Joseph Kern was watching was the U.S. Capitol being taken over. He watched it with his wife, and then his commander called.
My commander isn't really called for chit-chat. So he calls me, I'm like, hey, what's going on, sir? He's like, hey, the mood event today, we're going to be activated to go down to D.C.
First Sergeant Kern will lead over 100 soldiers based in Blackwood to Washington, D.C. through Vice President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration. They are among 500 troops from New Jersey who will be supporting the D.C. National Guard with security and protecting monuments and buildings. They'll be there to prevent what happened on Wednesday when the Capitol was stormed, resulting in at least 5 people being killed. They'll also be there to ensure a peaceful transition of power. The last time this unit was deployed was over a year ago to Qatar.
A really mission that means a lot to me because we're taking care of Americans. We're taking care of citizens, which is a good thing.
Pennsylvania National Guard troops were always expected to be deployed, but their deployment was moved up. On Saturday, 1,000 Pennsylvania troops deployed from the Horsham Air Guard Station. Like New Jersey, they will be there to provide support at the Capitol.
The reason we were asked to go down to Washington was to assist the local authorities. One of our core missions is to ensure that Americans have their constitutional rights protected to peacefully protest, and we are trained to protect life and property.
And Delaware is also sending National Guard troops down there to Washington. Live at City Hall, Howard Monroe, CBS 3, Eyewitness News.
All right, Shalom. Call Lord Yahweh Bashem El Shai. Double honors to my teachers, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Bashem El Shai, Barakatam to the hopefully elect. All right, and guess I'm gonna it's kind of gonna be like a prophecy update, I'll say. Just shedding some light on what's going on and kind of what to look forward to, especially come this inauguration. All right, because like I've been saying, man, even before the elections, going back to last year's elections, and Salakia, got these allergies acting up, so but nevertheless, going back to these elections of last year, 2020, I've been mentioning and I've been telling people to pay attention and to keep an eye out, man, because anything can go down from the elections all the way up until inauguration, and anything can go down, because expecting all hell to break loose, one way or the other, man. Something's getting ready to go down. All right, because even dealing with this with the what happened in DC. All right, what the hell is this? Okay, but it's by what took place in DC. There's a lot of speculation and a lot of suspicious things concerning that. All right, a lot of people suspect that was all set up. You had some of the guys that were there admit that they were paid to go out there and whatever the case may be. But nevertheless, all right, because I heard an elder brother say, typically you want to pay attention to the like what happens after. They do these things, because their whole thing, how does the saying go? Problem, reaction, solution. All right, and basically, again, concerning what happened at the DC Capitol, basically, again, expecting something to go down. All right, because the clip here that I played, them deploying the National Guard troops for the this inauguration that's coming up on the 20th. All right, and and one thing, man, because this guy Trump. 1 minute he's 1 minute he's saying that he's going to concede, and then the next minute he's saying he's not going to, he's not going to give in. The election, they were rigged, they were stolen, and all this. And then the next minute he's saying he's going into how what's going on here, man? Come on, these people don't know how to drive, man. Come on, dude. Slack but so yeah, this guy Trump, 1 minute he's saying that he's not going to concede, and then the next minute he's saying he's gonna, peacefully, transition. All right. So we don't know what's going down, what to expect. But the point being that you want to keep our eyes open. Because on another note, I was going into this, and they're pushing this heavy. This what's this chick's name? Nancy Pelosi, if I'm not mistaken, concerning this impeachment. All right, because they're suspecting that Trump can he can insert the Insurrection Act. They're suspecting for him to do something outlandish and outrageous. All right, they're suspecting him to do something crazy. So even though he has like what's the date, like the 11th? I think today's the 11th. Let me check real quick. So basically, he has like a few days in office, and they're really pushing for him to they're really pushing to impeach Trump. They have already pretty much started the process to get Trump out of there, because again, they suspect him of inciting, like this article here on RT says, House impeachment resolution accuses Trump of incitement of insurrection. All right, but again, because they're suspecting him to do something outlandish. They're expecting him to do something crazy, before he gets out of office. So they want to hurry up and get him out of there, for whatever reason. But nevertheless, man, again, definitely want to keep our eye out, man, because with this, with that being said, I saw this, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm gonna go ahead and read it. It says, so over on Wimkin and Parlor, they are promoting a militia march on Inauguration Day to stop Biden from entering the White House. And then it goes on to say, zoom in here. It says millions of American militia will meet in Washington, D.C. on January 20th, 2021 for the purpose of preventing any attempt by the treasonous domestic enemy Joe Biden or any other members of the communist organized crime organization known as the Democratic Party from entering the White House belonging to we the people. In the event that justice is served and our re-elected president Donald J. Trump is sworn in, the president let me go ahead and pull over so I can read this. Doing a lot of these videos, while I've been in transit, because it's kind of really the only time I get to just meditate and just meditate on things. So Salakia, because also I'm kind of going through the spirit on this. I don't have anything really lined up, but let me just go ahead and pull over and park so I can read this properly. Bear with me. But yeah, man, again, people are expecting something to go down, man. Them deploying these troops, all right. And like I've been saying, man, I've been saying this ever since the elections, man. Anything go down between, during the time of the elections and up all the way up until the inauguration, man. Anything can happen. Anything can go down, because a lot of people are asleep, man. People are still in that spirit of peace and safety, man, and thinking that it's it's all good, But let me read this again. It says millions of American militia will meet in Washington, D.C. on January 2021 for the purpose of preventing any attempt by the treasonous domestic enemy Joe Biden or any other member or members of the communist organized crime organization known as the Democratic Party from entering the White House belonging to we the people in the event that justice is served and our re-elected president Donald J. Trump is sworn in. The president, the Capitol, and our national monuments will be protected from the proven violent leftist insurgents who have declared war against the United States of America and have been conducting an active insurrection in the United States of America. All right. So they're calling these basically these Joe Biden supporters, they've been calling them the what does it say here? They've been calling them basically these active insurrectionists, right? When they're the one that stormed the Capitol. All right, but nevertheless, man, all right, because you can see how, again, man, you can get more and more a sense of an idea of how, hey, man, because where it talks about, where's that in Isaiah 19th chapter, the Egyptians against Egyptians, all right, and these seditions among men, all right, and like I said, because I don't know if, I don't know how true this is or not, all right, but again, nevertheless, you can expect something to go down, man. Something's getting ready to pop off. All right. Again, this whole thing with Trump, man, they're saying that he might do something as sporadic before he leaves office. And this is why they're pushing to impeach Trump. He might incite some type of some type of insurrection, some type of mob or whatever. All right, like they're saying that he did with the whole storming of the Capitol, So a lot of things, man. The Lord is brewing things up, man. He's stirring things up, and one way or the other, because what is prophesied in the Bible, and I'll go ahead and get into some precepts. But one way or the other, man. One way or the other, like I was saying, concerning what the prophecy states, man, martial law is going to be declared, man. Where is that at? Let me look for this real quick. Like I said, Slovakia, because I didn't really have anything planned out, but this is just stuff to be on the lookout for, Bear with me as I look for this. Oh no, this isn't it. Where would that be? Let me try Ezekiel 30. Because aside from, what it talks about in the second Esdras concerning lockdown, and martial law, there's another one somewhere in Ezekiel. It talks about them bringing in their chariots and things of that nature. All right, let me real quick. I'm gonna because I actually have my Bible here today. I'm just look for it in my Bible real quick, and then I'll pull it up on screen. Actually, no, I don't think that's it. Did I read Ezekiel 23? Let me look in there real quick. No, I pulled Ezekiel 25. Ezekiel 23, I think. Let's go ahead and look for it real quick. Ezekiel 23. And then okay, so here in Ezekiel 23, verse 24, it says, "And they shall come against thee with chariots, wagons, and wheels, and with an assembly of people." All right, and again, to put it in modern terms, concerning these chariots, wagons, and wheels, all right, these tanks and military vehicles, they're gonna Because more and more this thing is gonna this place of America is it's gonna become a police state. All right, more and more you're gonna start seeing military checkpoints. All right, certain places throughout the U.S. They got they're setting up these centers for people to take the vaccine. All right, these vaccine centers. All right, but again, being the fact that the prophecy states that all hell's going to break loose here in America. All right, again, this place is going to be overrun with military troops and soldiers and things of that nature. All right, like the clip that I played. All right, National Guard being deployed in to assist with the inauguration. All right, because people expect something to go down, and even more so with Trump, but Trump might, incite some type of, mayhem. He might say something to, cause all hell to break loose. All right, because during the time of the storming of the Capitol, Trump had did a video, pretty much going telling the people to, go home, but on that same note, because he was going in on the video, he mentioned how, yeah, we know the elections are stolen and things of that nature. So you see the play on of words, because these people's emotions are being played with. All right, and here it is, man. Tensions have been high for months. Where really ever since they had the first shutdowns back in 2020, and ever since then, man, people's emotions have been on high, man. The tensions have been on high, man. So I mean, the tension is already in the air, and you can expect the people to become more and more rowdy and riled up. All right, but I'm finishing this out. It says that with an assembly of people, all right, again, these troops more and more being deployed throughout. All right, it says, which shall set against thee buckler and shield and helmet round about, and I will set judgment before them, and they shall judge thee according to their judgments. All right. So the shield and buckler. All right. The what do you call it? The riot police. All right, and things of that nature. All right. Because again, you're gonna start seeing more and more of this place, man. Your local cities, man, becoming more and more police of a police state. Again, they're gonna start seeing more of these checkpoints. All right, and things like that. All right. Going to go to second Ezra. Second Ezra, because Lord's will, man. What took place during the DC protest, the storming, Lord's will, man. That was the because we go into the the elder brothers, man. They go into they quote these precepts. They go into it more and more, because like I keep saying, these things are becoming more and more relevant every day. But like I was saying, Lord's will, man. What took place at DC, man. That was the catapult or the domino to set off the rest of the domino effect. All right, because this came to life during the storming of the Capitol. All right. Second Ezra 15 and 16, it says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. And that's exactly what took place during the storming of the Capitol. All right. It was an invasion. All right. Invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes. In the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And just like the picture that I read earlier, going into how and like I said, I don't know if it's true or not, but again, we just have to wait and see. But concerning what could possibly take or go on, or what could possibly go down during the inauguration, they talking about how they're physically not going to allow Joe Biden or any member of the Democratic Party to basically take office, because it belongs to, and I'm quoting, we the people. All right. Because again, eventually it will get to a point where these people, they're not going to give a damn anymore. They're not going to listen to any of the local authorities or anything. People are going to take, well, actually, when you read on, it says they shall not regard their kings nor princes. In the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So people are going to take matters into their own hands. All right. And like I was saying earlier, all this one way or the other, this stuff is eventually is going to lead to martial law. They're just going to end up completely shutting this place down. That's when you read verse 17. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Why? Because it's going to be cut off. It's martial law. All right. So again, man, can expect something to go down, man. Like I've been saying since November, anything can happen anytime from now up until inauguration, man. Anything can happen, and I've been saying, man, Trump, man, this guy, he don't let this his prideful demeanor don't mistake him for a fool, man, because Trump is actually a smart man, and I keep talking about how this guy has, he could very well have some tricks up his sleeve, we just don't know until it actually comes to it actually comes to pass. All right. But nevertheless, man, because like I said, man, let me get this. Where would that be at? So because like I said, people are in that spirit of peace and safety, man. They think that they recently gave out these stimulus checks, all right, these $600 stimulus checks. This guy Joe Biden is talking about how if he gets in office, man, he's saying that $600 isn't enough. We got to give the people $2K, $2,000. So he's talking about how he wants to give the people more money if he gets in office. All right, which again, this guy, man, what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? All right, because again, he's buttering you people up. All right, because again, being that a lot of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, voted for this guy. You put your trust in him. All right, he's buttering you up. All right, telling you what you want to hear. And again, putting you in that spirit of everything's gonna be all right. Because Jake really thinks that they accomplished something with this guy Joe Biden if he makes it past inauguration. Like I keep saying, if he in fact makes it past inauguration, if he actually gets in office, Jake really thinks that they accomplished something. All right, because like I said, Jake is in that, for the most part, man. They're in that spirit of peace and safety. But what does the scripture go on to say? Peace and safety, then sudden destruction. All right, because this thing again, I mean, anything. This thing can play out a number of ways, man. It can go down any like manner, man. All right, but the point being that you want to stay circumspect and pay attention to how these things play out, because you don't want to get caught out there like a thief in the night. All right, what was the precept that I was thinking about? Second Esdras, and because this isn't the time to be, in that spirit of, peace and safety, man. Thinking that everything's chill and everything's is all right. Here it is that Jake's talking about, or I see a lot of people talking about the football games and the NBA and the whole bread and circus. All right, Jake is lost, man. They have no idea what's getting ready to go down. All right, but again, if you're staying on your watch, you're paying attention and you're looking out for these signs that the Lord left for us. The Lord left us these signs for us to know the signs of the times, which I got here in 2 Esdras 9:1. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I've told thee before. All right, and again, what and when I think of this, when I read this, the signs that the Lord left for us to be on the watch and to look out for, Matthew's the 24th chapter, Luke the 21st chapter. All right, the wars and rumors of wars and the uprisings of the people, the tumult, right? And because like I said, man, Lord's will, man, concerning this DC storming of the Capitol, that was the domino to set it off, because one way or another, man, these prophecies, man, not the while, man, because like I've said before, man, if you watch the elders, the apostles and elders, and all the men on down of a great millstone, a lot of times, sounds like, they repeat the same things, quoting the same scriptures over and over. All right. But because eventually, man, it's going to get to a point where, it's going to be happening, it's going to be in real life time, but nevertheless, all right, because, the job of the prophets is to warn the people, the job of the prophets, man, is to tell the people, of these things, what's to come. All right. The spiritual weathermen. All right. Because a lot of this stuff that's going on, they don't show it on the mainstream media. All right. Because, they try to portray like everything's going to be all right. All right. When in fact, all right, I see a lot of, stories of, people get shot, two shot here, over here, then another person, they're finding a dead body over here. All right. Because again, a lot of this stuff, they're not shown on the mainstream media. All right. Because again, they want you to, they want to keep you in a state of believing that, America's going to bounce back. Everything's going to be all right. All right. Because, believe it or not, you still got some people, despite what's going on around the world, not just in America, around the world, you still got some people that actually, well, let me take that back, because, for the most part, man, the majority of the people in the world, man, they're not as dumbed down and docile like these simple Babylonians, all right, these Americans, all right, because these Americans, they're straight up stupid, all right. So, I'll take that back, but because for the most part, I'll say, these Americans, all right, a lot of these Americans, they believe it or not, they still believe that America is going to bounce back, all right. You just talk to your average individual, man. The average people out here, they still think that, they're still talking about, basically establishing themselves here in America, planning for the next 10, 20 years or whatever, talking about, getting the houses and stuff like that, man. When this place is through, it's not coming back. All right. And again, because those are going to be the people that end up getting caught out there like a thief in the night, but nevertheless, man. All right. Because again, the Lord left us these signs. All right. And for us to measure the time, this is how we measure the time, as like the scriptures talk about the birth pains, right? Like a woman in travail, once that water break and that baby's coming, man. There's no wait, hold up, timeouts or anything like that. Once that baby, once that woman, once that water breaks, man, that baby's coming. All right. And again, we're in that time of these birth pains, the beginning of sorrows, as it talks about. All right. And there's no going back. This place is not going back to normal. All right. But nevertheless, we're expecting more and more. We're expecting these prophecies eventually, because like I said, man, eventually, man, it's not going to be a thing of us repeating these things. Eventually, it's going to be happening. We're going to be in it. It's going to be live. All right. Yep, that was it. I was had this on the back of my mind. It slipped my mind and then it came back. So I'll go ahead and pull it up. That will be in Habakkuk. Habakkuk, the second chapter, start at verse 1. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. So you see, because again, like I mentioned, you want to stay up on your watch, man. Constantly look out for constantly paying attention to what's going on, not just in America, but around the world, because right now, man, me personally, I'm I've been kind of closely watching what's going on out there in the UK. All right. Because a lot of that stuff that's like like we always say, man, a lot of that stuff that's going on in these other countries, these other nations, man, it's a prelude to what's going on here in America, or what's going to take place here in America. All right. So I've been closely watching what's going on over there in the UK, man, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they're like on a tier 4 lockdown, and they will pretty much, they want to keep it on the lockdown until I think March, they said, but like they did with the first lockdowns. All right, it was only supposed to be for a couple of weeks or whatever, and it ended up being some months. All right, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to continue to prolong these lockdowns. All right, and again, being that these people are already stirred up, they're already riled up, man. They're already frustrated and fatigued. They're tired. All right, these people, man, they're not going to fall for it. Especially these prideful Americans. All right, going back to Revelations, the 15th chapter. All right, when you read where it talks about, where I read the seditions among men. All right, and when you read it down, it talks about because of the pride of these cities, man, they're in trouble. All right, because again, these Americans, man, this country is the most powerful country on the face of the planet. All right, and like I did in the previous video, man, this is why this place is going to catch it the worst. This place is going to catch the worst hell out of them all. All right, but nevertheless, reading on verse 2, it says, "And the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." So again, because eventually it will come to a point where, we're not going to just be repeating ourselves, and we're not going to sound like a broken record, because it's going to be actually happening. At some point in time, it will come. It will get to that point, all right? Because, you got a lot of people, the scriptures, I think that's in Revelations, it says, "Woe to you that have lost patience." All right, because, we say these things over and over and over and over for years, starting with the apostles and elders. All right. And, time goes by, man, and it just, there's certain points, times where, things are hot, things are spiking, things are going on. And then, it comes a point in time where, it seems like things die down or whatnot. Not much is really happening. Not much is really going on. And it's like a cycle, that constantly happens, and again, throughout time, man, people eventually, they just, they say, well, the hell with it. They stop listening. Some of the men in the truth, man, they fall out. They end up, going back into the world. And even people that followed and listened after the prophets, man, they eventually they stop listening. They say the hell with it, man. They lose patience. All right, because again, it may seem like things for a period of time, man, it's just nothing going on, and y'all been saying that for forever, man. Ain't nothing's going on, right? But again, you don't want to be in that spirit of peace and safety. All right, because again, eventually it will come to a point where it's just gonna happen out of nowhere. Things are gonna start happening out of nowhere. All right. Again, you don't want to be left out there like a thief in the night. All right. But again, because it will come to a point where this isn't going to we're not going to be sounding like a broken record. Eventually, all right, the Lord's going to put these things into motion. All right, and he's going to act on what he said concerning all these prophecies, that the prophets have been prophesying for many years. All right. But nevertheless, man, so yeah, man, just kind of been like a little update, a prophecy update, man, concerning what could possibly go down during inauguration. Because like I said, man, Lord's will, man, the whole storming of the DC Capitol, man, Lord's will, that was the domino to set off all the other dominoes, and Lord's will, man, the Lord gets this thing rolling, gets the ball rolling on this thing, man, right? But with that, I want to give all credit to Yahweh Shemel Shai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Lord's will, this was edifying. And until next time, Lord's will, I say shalom.